tonight, we're not just talking about a concert, we're talking about history breathing again. So imagine this. The lights dim inside that Seoul venue. The crowd is electric. It's March 1st. It's the encore show of the last parade. And everyone knows this isn't just another tour stop. This is emotional. This is heavy because it's right before enlistment. It feels like a closing chapter. And then something happens that no one was fully prepared for. But before we get there, let's rewind. Back in 2015, 7 boys stood on stage under YG Entertainment. Jae, Sung, Bobby, DK, Jun, Chan, and their leader, BI. That lineup wasn't just a group, it was chemistry, it was hunger, it was identity. iKON wasn't just another rookie act. They were built through survival shows, through tears, through competition, and at the center of it all was BI, producing, writing, leading, carrying the weight like a captain who refused to sink. Then 2019 happened. Controversy, headlines, silence. BI left, and just like that, the story split in two. The remaining 6 members kept moving forward as iKON. BI disappeared from that world and started rebuilding his own. Fans were divided, hurt, defensive, hopeful, angry, sometimes all at once. The word reunion became almost taboo. Interviews felt careful, statements felt distant. It seemed like whatever bridge existed had been burned, or at least locked behind closed doors. But fandoms don't forget. iKONics never stopped remembering 7 shadows on stage instead of 6. Fast forward to now, BI is on his The Last Parade tour, and the name alone feels symbolic, right? Like a final march before something changes forever, before enlistment, before pause, before time freezes again. The encore in Seoul, packed venue, fans singing every lyric back to him. It's already emotional. You can feel it through the clips online. And then someone notices something. On the second floor, in the crowd, not backstage, not hidden, Jae, Kim Jinhwan, just standing there, not as an idol on a schedule, not as a headline, just as a person, watching, grooving to the music. And the internet, it explodes. Because this isn't a rumor, this isn't a vague they met privately. This is public, this is visible, this is real time. And then, the moment, BI looks up, he sees him. There's that split second where you can almost see recognition hit his face, and instead of pretending, instead of looking away, instead of acting like he didn't notice, he waves, and Jae waves back. And then Jae shouts, loud enough for people around him to hear, BI, fighting. If you've been here since debut, tell me that doesn't hit you in the chest. Years of silence, years of speculation, years of fans wondering if there was resentment, distance, unresolved pain. And in one simple exchange, a wave and a shout, something soft breaks open. It wasn't dramatic. There was no speech, no hug on stage, no official statement, just eye contact, a wave, encouragement. But sometimes that's louder than anything else. And it didn't stop there. Fans noticed that BI also acknowledged iKONics in the crowd. He didn't erase the past. He didn't pretend that chapter never existed. He recognized it, them, the shared history. For a fandom that has carried complicated emotions for 7 years, this felt like oxygen. Because let's be honest, when a member leaves under controversy, it's messy, it's corporate, it's legal, it's PR, it's narratives controlled by agencies, and fans are left piecing together truth from silence. But this wasn't PR. No press release from YG Entertainment, no staged photo, no joint announcement. Just 2 people who once stood shoulder to shoulder on stage, acknowledging each other in front of thousands. And that's why it hit differently. Some fans cried, some felt closure, some felt hope, and yes, some felt conflicted. Because healing isn't linear. There are fans who stayed with iKON as 6 and protected that era fiercely. There are fans who followed BI's solo journey and watched him rebuild from the ground up. There are fans who never stopped imagining 7 microphones on one stage again. So when this moment happened, emotions collided. Was it reconciliation? Was it just support between former teammates? Was it symbolic? Was it accidental? Honestly, maybe it doesn't need a label. Maybe it was just human. 2 artists who shared formative years, who built something together, who went through storms most of us can't even imagine, and for a few seconds they let the world see that whatever happened back then, respect still exists. And let's talk about timing. This happened right before BI's enlistment. Do you understand the weight of that? Enlistment in South Korea isn't just a break, it's a pause that can reshape careers. It's time away from the stage, from fans, from momentum. So this moment feels almost poetic. Before he steps away, before he disappears into uniform and routine, he shares a silent exchange with someone who was there at the very beginning. Full circle energy. It's not about confirming a reunion, it's not about forcing a narrative, it's about growth. Both sides have evolved. BI built a solo identity. iKON built a 6-member legacy beyond 2019. Fans matured too. The conversations now are less reactive, more reflective, and maybe this interaction represents that shift. Not everything broken needs to be loudly fixed. Sometimes it just needs acknowledgement. And if you watched the clips closely, there was no awkwardness, no tension, just warmth. Jay dancing, BI smiling, a shout of encouragement that felt natural, not forced. It reminded people of 2015, of survival show days, of rookie award speeches, of chaotic V-Lives, of 7 voices blending into one chorus. You could almost hear the echoes. And that's why it went viral. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was sincere. In an industry that feels scripted, this felt unscripted. In a fandom that has carried scars, this felt like a bandage. Now, will this lead to more public interactions? We don't know. Will there ever be 7 on stage again? No one can promise that. But for one night in Seoul, the past and present stood in the same room, and they didn't look away. For many iconics, that was enough. And maybe that's the real takeaway. Healing doesn't always come with headlines. Sometimes it comes with a wave and a simple fighting. And if you felt something watching that clip, you're not dramatic, you're human. Because when you invest years into artists, into stories, into growth, these small moments feel massive. This wasn't just a concert update, it was a reminder that time changes people, that distance doesn't always erase connection, that chapters can close without destroying the book. As BI prepares for enlistment and as iKON continues forward on their own path, one thing is clear: the story isn't as cold as people once thought. And maybe, just maybe, this was the quiet beginning of something softer. Tell me how you felt when you saw that moment. Did it give you closure, hope, or did it make everything more complicated? Whatever you're feeling, you're not alone. This is Daebak Daily, and tonight we witnessed history blink and smile. And maybe that's the real lesson here. K-pop moves fast. Scandals trend, lineups change, contracts end, narratives get rewritten overnight, but genuine moments, they cut through all of it. What happened in that concert hall wasn't about algorithms, it wasn't about PR, it wasn't about headlines, it was about growth, time, and 2 artists who once built something unforgettable, acknowledging that history without fear. Whether you're OT7, OT6, or simply here for the music, this moment belonged to all of us who stayed. As BI prepares for enlistment and a new chapter begins, one thing is certain: the story isn't over. It's evolving, and we'll be here to witness every page. If this moment meant something to you, don't stay silent. Share your thoughts below. Let's talk. Let's process it together. This is Daebak Daily, where we don't just report the news, we feel it.
See you in the next story.